Hello, everybody, and welcome to Tayo and Noah podcast. In this episode today, I'm going to be talking about what nobody tells you about finding jobs in Australia. The truth that you can't find online, basically, especially as an African immigrant. So, if you're an African immigrant and you've been struggling with jobs, or you're planning to migrate to Australia and you're thinking and making plans, and I think you're going to learn a lot from this episode. And why should you actually watch to the end? So if we're just meeting, basically my name is Noah and I'm a founder and entrepreneur. I built Sing Skills, which is a company focused on helping African immigrants to be able to build skills, get the support needed to be able to get amazing job and thrive in their career. And we've helped a lot of people to achieve that dream. So many people that were going through pain, working long hours, missing precious moment, feeling burnt out and had nowhere to go until they found us and we helped them change their life. So this episode I'm going to be sharing 3 important points and a bonus. So please stick to the end, because genuinely this can give you the clarity that you need and potentially change your life, honestly speaking. So many people have come on our podcast and we've shared some of this information before, and they're like, wow, this was the thing I needed to be able to change my life, and they took action, and they're like, I thank God I met you guys. Why didn't I meet you like 5 years ago? My life would have been way different. So I'll say that you're very lucky to have this information I'm going to be sharing. And yeah, this is so many things are happening in our community that are not out there. They are not spoken about more publicly. But let's start from the myth about the job market broadly in Australia. So many people say, well, this job is saturated, there are no jobs. Or some people may say there are jobs, there are a lot of jobs, but it's so hard to get, right? So I'm of the opinion that you've got to focus on where the data is. So whatever spectrum of the debate you're in, whether you believe that there are no jobs, it's saturated, or there are jobs but it's tough to get, I would say to you, focus on the data. So if you go on some of the most popular job platforms like seek.com.au, Indeed, careers1.au, Smart Jobs, some state focused job board, you see a lot of vacancies. And this is not specific to tech, because there are a lot of people that may know me may think this video is just about tech. It's not. It's a lot like more general. So there are a lot of opportunities. Different industry value different things, which I'm also going to be talking about. So but in saying that, there are some things that you need to prepare for and have in mind when you're trying to get a job here in Australia. How do you translate your skills and experience to what Australian employers will want? Is so important, and you need to understand, if you're living in the regional area, you don't have as much opportunity as if you're living in the city, for example, or you're targeting jobs in the city. In CBD have more opportunities naturally, and a lot of people be moving out of the city area because, again, cost of living crisis and all of those challenges make it very tough for you to be able to live in those type of area. And that's like well documented. If you follow the news, you see that there's high cost of living, not just Australia, but to be fair, like everywhere. So in saying that, for you to get a job in Australia, you can't just say, I'm just clicking easy apply or quick apply and you're going to get opportunity like that. There's a format for how you're going to submit your resume. A cover letter is also consideration, is important. There's a format for how you pitch yourself. You're going to have an elevator pitch. They call you, typically they may call you after they've received your good resume, phone interview. And people don't regard that as phone interview. They think it's just a casual talk and they just treat it the same way, thereby losing out on opportunities. So it's not just a phone interview, it's not just a casual phone call. Some of the recruiter will just say, yeah, I'm just trying to discover, but it's a phone interview. You need to treat it that way. That's how I tell our students to approach these things, and it's made a world of difference. Because think about it, if you are lucky, you get the recruiter call you, they're trying to shortlist you basically. And if they're trying to shortlist you and you're just casual, you're not giving them enough information, similar in the way you do interviews, then you're not going to get opportunity, and then you're just going to say, well, I've been finding it hard to get a job. Now, the other thing I want to talk about is that high skill job and low skill job. Most people, especially African immigrant, when you come here, depending on the people you meet, they probably work in a particular sector, and what we've seen maybe skill sector, and they tell you that that's where you can find job really. And if you're not well prepared, you have to jump on that and have that same belief that if you're an accountant, if you're a nurse, relatively find job easier. Like if you're an accountant, lawyer, you're a professional, IT professional, you're a software developer, you may just fall into the trap, because also there's financial pressure, so you've got to start to make money, else you're going to suffer. And then maybe 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, 6 months, 1 year, 2 years, you forget about your actual calling and you just keep doing it, you feel trapped. And I'm saying that it doesn't always have to be that way, especially if you have the right strategy. So the other thing, the second point I want to talk about that people don't tell you is that not all those jobs you're seeing there, some of them are just for camouflage, right? Like they're just because by law you've got to advertise, especially public sector, you've got to advertise a vacancy even if you have preferred candidate internally, so you would need to still advertise it. And my point here is that connection is super important. And how do you build connection if you are new in the country or you're an immigrant, you haven't got a deep connection base? And that's why we always say network, join webinars, because that's where you get industry insight, you get new ideas, you learn, you meet people, you connect. That's how you start to build your connection base. It's just like business as well. A lot of opportunities are sealed when you go for an event, you meet somebody and they say, oh yeah, this is what I do. And they say, oh, I know somebody that looks for services like this. And they're like, oh, I'm going to give you your card, the person's card, and you do an introduction. Deals are sealed. So it's very important that you open your eyes about all of those kind of events so you can start to deepen your connection. Now, the next one I should talk about in terms of how you tackle roles being filled is also having strategy. There are some industries that are growing and there's some industry that are dying. For example, the healthcare is growing, tech industry is growing by nature. But if you're looking at accounting, for example, and this is a bit controversial, but I've met a lot of people that study accounting and I don't know what is happening in that industry. There are a lot of need for accountants here, but somehow it's so hard for African immigrants to actually get those roles, and actually can't pinpoint it. So we've helped a lot of people actually translate that skills into tech roles, and they've gone on to be business analyst, project manager, scrum master, etc. So there are ways. So if you're in a role where you're just finding blockers, you're not able to move forward, and you want to change that, you want to do something that is more high growing, then high growth give you more opportunity to earn more. You can reach out to us on Instagram or send us a message. The information in the description. Basically, you can translate that skills like communication, active listening, your domain knowledge and expertise basically can be translated into tech roles that you don't need to learn how to code. You just learn technical skills and marry it with your domain expertise in your specific role. And that has changed so many people. Like for example, we have this amazing person like Oluwaseun and many others as well. He's an accountant and he joined one of our webinars in the past, and it was really excited about this opportunity. I want to join the program, and did join the program, put in the work. Now he works with an amazing company here in Australia, Queensland. They basically tripled his pay, and now he works less time, work from home sometimes. Really just changed his life, and this is one of many hundreds of stories, amazing stories of people that have changed their life. So it doesn't just happen by luck. it happens with strategy, and that's really the crux of what I'm saying. You need strategy, you need network. There are unwritten rules that you need to know about, just like anywhere as well. Nigeria, think about it, UK, anywhere really, your network pays you a lot. All right, let's talk about the third one. So the third one is very important. I see a lot of people, even people that have gone to do masters or certification and everything, they come and say, hey, I applied to this job. They said I don't have Australian experience. It's a real thing, guys. It's really real. So Australian experience is like the mindset for you to actually know is that here in Australia, it's like geographically isolated. The closest countries are like Bali, all these countries that are not like very tech enabled, I would say. Just like Europe now, they're very close knitted and there's synergy there. Australia is like in this world of its own. Even the time zone is like different. So basically, the employer struggled to get skilled talent, and when they get good people, they want to keep those people, they want to treat them well. However, not many employers want to gamble. Like, even if you're somebody that work internationally, you have international experience, because it's also very expensive to hire people here in Australia for businesses. They want to be sure the person they're hiring can do the job, understand the system, the culture, and how they can be effective here, because they may not have big budget to train them and help them do all of that. They may want people that, most of the time, they want people that can deliver from day one on the job. Now, in saying that, how do you then gamble? Right? If you're an employer and you just have 2 slots of full-time employees and you're going to pay them $120,000, $130,000, you want to be absolutely sure that the people you bring on board are people that can smash it for you. So if you think about it from their perspective, then you understand that if you're trying to get a job, you need to position yourself in a way that you become irresistible. And how do you do that? You need to, first of all, how you show up with your resume, your personal branding online, LinkedIn profile, etc. If you go apply with cover letter where applicable, you need to have elevator pitch when they call you, how you present your value, what you can do, how you can solve problems for them. Those things kind of help them understand that you understand the system works. Plus, if you can get local experience, internship opportunity, then that local experience can open door for you. But the thing is, even as immigrant, it's also very tough to get internship opportunity because there are limited spots as well. So you're not going to be prioritized. And that's why we have like partnership with companies that our students can get that experience, and that limitation, that barrier just dissipated. Like, we remove it for you effectively. So yeah, those are some of the advantages that is exclusive for people that we train and coach and mentor. They get to navigate this elephant into this big issue of Australian. If you've had like that experience where they need you to have Australian experience, let me know in the comment section and how you're navigating that, or if you've navigated that, let me know. And by the way, and that takes me to the sponsor of this video. Oloja is a marketplace, a platform built for African immigrants who want to find amazing businesses or service providers. There are some things that we can't just find in Coles and Woolworths. You want to enjoy that African taste, or you want an African culture infused in the things that you shop for, you can find amazing vendors, businesses on Oloja. And if you're a business, an African business, you can get on the platform and showcase your product. Can't wait to see you there. Sign up. The link in the description below, oloja.com.au. happy trading. All right, so we're going to talk about the last one. So the last one we're going to talk about is the preparation that you do, especially for people, new immigrant coming into country. I want you to really consider, like, if you're a doctor, if you're a nurse or a surgeon, you're in those specialized skill area where you need license, you need to be able to translate your skills, your experience into Australian experience. Because some people make mistake, they just come into the country and maybe they get some of the licenses and don't get all of them, and they want to do it here. It's more expensive. I've met some people that are like, I'm a doctor, I'm a surgeon, I need to do this exam. You need to do it, but at least if you have plans for it and you know that it's expensive and you have runway, you've made financial plan to take to serve you for that period where you get your license to be able to practice, and that's good. Because I've seen some people who now had to do jobs below their skill levels just to survive, like cleaning job, factory job, that even makes it harder. Imagine you're trying to do that type of job, you're so exhausted and you're trying to prepare for exams that would qualify you as well, and you don't want to fail it because a lot of money you're paying. Is very challenging. If you've got a family, you can imagine, like, it's so difficult and you burn out a lot. So if you can make plans, maybe financial plan or strategy on getting some of those licenses in a more efficient way, maybe go to another country. I know some people that went to the UK and got it, and then they can translate that into Australian recognized license effectively. You do that. So what I'm saying here, you need to prepare for that restart process so you don't get into jobs that burns you out or you get stuck forever. Like some people, they've actually come in like software developers and testers and accountants. Now they can't practice, they can't do the job right now because one, they don't understand what the job market wants with what I'm going to talk about next. So you need to be able to cater to that. So if you're in tech, which is my expertise, for example, don't just focus on certification. That's not really what employer want when it comes to getting the job. Now there are 3 key things that I'll just say on a high level that would help you pitch to that employer to make you feel like, whoa, we'll be insane not to hire you. Number 1, you got to have relevant skills. So if you're an accountant, have relevant skill in that area. But I'm talking about tech now. So if you're a business analyst, project manager, software developer, whatever role, have these relevant skills. Now that's not enough, because having skills is not enough. You gotta have like demonstrated experience in that skill. So if you're a developer, how many years real experience you have in that role? If you're a business, how many years of experience do you have in that role? So it's super important because experience will teach you the most optimal way to tackle a problem, the mistakes to avoid, all of those things. Remember the psychology of the employer that says to them that, hey, you'll be able to deliver value from day one. You will not be dilly-dally and be wasting time impacting the business. And running a business in Australia is very challenging, and I know that as well. So you always need skilled people. Number 3 thing there is that you need to be able to market yourself. So at least for me, when I moved to Australia, that was the part that was so challenging for me. Even though I've been a coach, mentor back home in Nigeria for years, and I have the skills and the experience, no issues there. But how do you market it? How do you translate how do you speak the language that would minimize them saying, oh, you're lacking some culture fit, or we went with another stronger candidate, or your experience is a bit. So the reason they tell you all of those things is because you're not marketing yourself well, if you're not irresistible. And that's why we built a framework that helps you become irresistible, called the Speak Framework. Meaning, how do you answer questions in a way that is super structured. Like, so many people, they ask them questions and they're trying to think about the answer off the top of their head. Maybe that's the first time you're hearing in a long time and you're trying to manufacture answer. It's going to be disjointed. So we want you to be structured in your response. We want you to add some personal stuff, because some people will say, well, we did that in my experience, we did this, the team, we built. You need to make it personal, like, because we make it look like, if you say we, it makes it look like you are not the one that taking ownership and accountability for delivering that, and that's dangerous for you, because you're just going to get that response that you found somebody else. And those are the subtle things a lot of people make mistakes on. Yeah, you've got to make it engaging. We've seen so many people that are like super nervous, and trust me, there's interview nerves, it's real, but preparation helps you limit it. It gives you more confidence and you're more robust. So if you're not engaging, it's hard to follow. And Aussies are laid back. They're looking at the potential colleague. They don't want somebody that cannot even articulate, engage in conversation, right? And you need to be authentic. Right? Bring your authentic self into that conversation. Just like in sales, at the end of the day, interviews are like you go give a good presentation, and it's your story that resonates with the audience, like the interviewers, that will make you memorable. Like, oh, we want to hire this person, they said they can do this job, I remember they answered this question. If you don't do that, there's nothing they can pick out from that interview that like, wow, this is a haha moment for us. They're not going to hire you, so it's going to be tough. And then you need to, more importantly, speak from a place of knowledge. So this helps you avoid awkwardness. Like, imagine all the question, and they are not looking for you to be 100% in interview, but imagine all the question they ask you, like, wait a second, you drink water, so can you repeat that again? So I'm just trying to, nothing is coming right now. Like, it's so awkward because you've not prepared. Your knowledge is still like, and we see that a lot. You can't just bamboozle your way around that. You gotta speak from a place of knowledge. So the speak framework helps you with the best preparation, and that's what we've used to change so many people's life. You would be amazed. And I went through that journey, learned from that experience where I was losing out on opportunity. Like I would go, when I eventually optimized and started getting calls and interviews, I would go to an interview and I would deliver technical response. I was confident, I was engaging, but there was something missing. There was the storytelling was not connecting. It was not like memorable. That's why I saw it happen, because how I learned that was like, I saw Tyra. And Tyra is like amazing. She understood control for the framing, the context, like all those things that help you draw people in, that make them feel like they're in front of you and having conversation. Like, do you know what happened when I was working this? They had this issue before I came in with their system, and that was affecting customers. Sometimes weekend we will not be able to even process any transaction. Like, we came in on board, and that was the first thing we needed to fix for the organization. So I worked with the development team. We had to build an app that provided XYZ feature, and then we deployed it in like 6 months, and we resolved that problem. And today we acquired all our customers. The NPS score for the organization increased because the customers are having a better time in the new platform we built. As a result, the customer base grew. We made millions of dollars in the first 3-6 months, and we got recognition from the MD. You see, kind of like structure, and this is just like impromptu, but like if you develop that skill, you're able to tell the story of what's happening. Then it's not like where they are going to be saying, and then what did you do, and then how did you solve problem, and then what is the result, the cliche star framework. So basically, if you do this, the outcome of your interview will start to shift towards your favor, and that is super important. I hope you're getting value from this video. If you are, please let me know in the comment section. It really means a lot to me. Share with a friend. This can change their life. And if you've got any question, if you want me to make any video, pop the question there, and I'll see you next time. If you're wanting to learn about the 10 things I wish I knew before I moved to Brisbane, click the link below or check this next video. I'll see you. Bye.